You've been listening to English for months. You understand almost everything, but when it's your turn to speak, nothing comes out.
Today, we're going to talk about why that happens and 3 calm ways to start fixing it. Welcome back to the Everyday Calm English podcast.
Today, we're talking about learning English naturally and why speaking English is harder than understanding English.
Let's start with the first one, the fear of making mistakes.
Oh, I have a story for this one.
Already?
So, I was at a coffee shop last week, just getting my usual, and the person in front of me was wearing a shirt from one of my favorite bands.
Oh no, I already know where this is going.
So this person turns around, sees me looking at the shirt, and goes, "Oh, do you like them too?" And nothing. My mind went completely blank. And then out of nowhere, my mouth just goes, "They are good."
No.
They are good, Leo. Like 1 second before that, I was in my head listing every concert I've been to, my favorite songs, the poster on my wall. I've seen them live 3 times. I have all their albums. I know every single lyric. I'm their #1 fan. And someone finally asks me about them, and that's what comes out?
That is painful.
And the person just smiled and turned back around. That was it. Conversation over. I had this amazing chance to connect with someone over something I love, and I sounded like I barely even knew them.
What happened though? Like what was actually going on in your head?
I froze the second they looked at me, and I realized, oh, I actually have to talk now. All I could think was, don't be weird, sound cool, say something smart. And while my brain was busy worrying about all of that, their good just fell out.
You know what I think happened? You weren't being you. You were trying to be like perfect Lily. And perfect Lily couldn't say anything. But normal Lily? Normal Lily would have just said, "Oh my God, I love them. I saw them last summer. It was amazing."
Yes, that's exactly it. Normal me would have just talked, but I got so in my own head.
And I think that's what happens when you're speaking English too, right? You know the words. You know what you want to say. But the moment matters to you. The person is looking at you. And suddenly your brain isn't thinking about what to say anymore. It's thinking, how do I sound? Am I being weird? What if I say something wrong?
And you end up saying something so small, something that doesn't even sound like you. And then you walk away thinking, that's not who I am. I'm so much more interesting than that.
You are.
And so are you. If you're listening right now and you've ever had that moment where you said something tiny and you felt so frustrated after because you know you had more to say, we get it. That's not because your English is bad. That's because you cared. You cared about the moment, and your brain got in the way.
The words are in there. They really are.
They are. You just have to let normal you do the talking, not perfect you. If you've ever felt like a smaller version of yourself because the words just wouldn't come out, you're not alone. That's exactly why we made this podcast. A calm place where it's okay to not be perfect.
If that story felt like your life,
We'd love for you to be part of this. Hit subscribe. We're just getting started.
Now, let's talk about the second reason.
Okay, reason 2. The translating trap.
Oh, this is a good one. What is that exactly?
So, you know when someone is talking to you, and instead of just listening, your brain is translating every word into your language first, and then when you want to reply, you build the sentence in your language and then try to translate it back.
That sounds exhausting.
It is, and I have a story that is basically what that feels like. So, a couple weeks ago, I'm walking home, and someone stops me on the street, a tourist. They ask me, "Excuse me, do you know how to get to the train station?"
Wait, when was this? You didn't tell me about this.
Because it's embarrassing.
Oh no, go on.
So, this person asks me for directions to the train station, and I know exactly where it is. I walk past it almost every day.
So, what's the problem?
The problem is, I don't just know one way to get there, I know like 3. There's a shortcut through a side street, there's a longer way but it's really simple, just straight and then turn, and then there's this other path that takes a bit longer but it goes past the park, and it's a really nice walk.
Oh no, Leo.
And this person is standing there, waiting, and my brain is just, which one do I tell them? The short one? But that has a lot of turns. The simple one? But that takes longer. The nice one? They didn't ask for nice. They asked for directions.
Your brain is doing math right now.
My brain is doing so much math. And while it's trying to pick the best route and figure out how to explain it clearly, I'm just standing there, staring at this person. And they're staring at me.
How long?
Too long. And then I just started pointing. I didn't even say words, Lily. I just pointed down the street like
Like a mime?
a mime. I'm just pointing and doing little hand gestures like go that way and then that way. The person looked so confused. They just said, "Okay, thank you," and walked off.
They did not trust those directions.
They should not have trusted those directions. I don't even know which route I was pointing to. I think I combined all 3.
You gave them a route that doesn't exist.
I might have sent them to a completely different city.
Okay, but you know what? I've done something like that too. Someone gave me directions once, and they told me like 5 steps. And I was so busy trying to remember step 3 and 4 that I forgot step 1 before they even finished talking.
That's the same thing.
It is. Your brain is doing too many things at once. It's not that you don't know, you know too much, and it all jams up.
And that's exactly what the translating trap feels like when you're learning English. Someone says something to you. You understand it, but then your brain starts working. Okay, what do I want to say? Let me think of it in my own language first. Okay, now let me translate that. Wait, is that the right word? Is the grammar right? Does that sound natural?
And by the time your brain finishes all of that,
The moment is gone. The other person has moved on, or you just say something short because you ran out of time.
it's like your brain is building the perfect sentence. But nobody asked for perfect. They just wanted to talk to you.
And that's why learning English naturally is so important, because naturally means you stop translating. You stop building every sentence like a math problem. You just let it come out, even if it's messy.
Even if you accidentally send someone to a different city.
Even then, The second you stop trying to be perfect and just start talking, that's when it starts to feel real. That's when it stops being a translation and starts being your voice.
You don't need the perfect route. You just need to start walking.
Okay, so reason 3, finding your voice.
So, my sister Emma.
Oh, here we go.
If you don't know Emma, she's basically the opposite of me. She's loud, she's spontaneous, she walks into a room and just fills it. You know those people who are never afraid to be themselves?
That's Emma.
That's Emma. So a few weeks ago, she calls me and says, "We're going to karaoke." Not asks me, tells me.
Sounds like her.
And I immediately said no, absolutely not. I don't sing, not in front of people. But she asked me again and again and again, so I said, okay, I'll go, but I am not singing.
But you went.
I went. So we get there, and it's packed, and I'm sitting in the corner thinking, this was a mistake. And Emma, she just grabbed the mic. She didn't even look at the song list. She just picked something and started singing.
She didn't even hesitate.
Not for a second. And she wasn't even that good, but she didn't care. She was up there laughing, dancing, completely off key, and having the best time. And everyone was smiling, not because she was good, because she was free.
And you were just sitting there watching.
Just sitting there, watching, wishing I could do that, just not care. And then she comes back to the table, puts my name down for a song, and says, "You're next."
Yeah, I remember that.
And I panicked. My heart was pounding. I almost walked out. But then I thought about everything. All the times I stayed quiet because I was afraid. The coffee shop, all of it. And I just thought, I'm so tired of being silent. So I got up, and my hands were shaking, and the music started, and I sang.
It was...
Terrible. Honestly terrible. I forgot half the words, my voice was shaking, I was completely off key.
I was there. It was bad.
It was bad. But Leo, I didn't care. For the first time, I just didn't care. I was up there, and I was terrible, and I was laughing, and I felt light, like something unlocked.
You did look different up there. Like actually different.
I felt different. And you know what song I sang?
Your favorite.
My favorite, from my favorite band. At the coffee shop, I couldn't even say I liked them. And there I was, singing their song, badly, in front of a room full of strangers. And it felt amazing. You know what? Next time, I'm dragging you up there with me.
No. No.
Oh, it's happening. And I think that's what we want to say with this one. Your voice is in there. Your English voice. It's already there. You've been listening. You've been practicing. You've been doing the work. You just haven't let it out yet.
And when you do, it's not going to be perfect. It might be shaky. You might forget words. You might be completely off key.
But it will be yours. And that's what matters. That's what speaking English naturally really is. It's not about getting every word right. It's about finally letting your voice out.
And honestly, that feeling of just going for it, there's nothing like it.
You don't need to be ready. You just need to start, and we'll be right here with you.
So, 3 reasons. Fear, overthinking, and not using your voice.
And 3 things we want you to remember. The mistake you're afraid of, most people won't even notice. The perfect sentence you're trying to build, nobody asked for perfect. And your voice, it's already in there.
You just have to let it out. If you're ready to start, subscribe and come grow with us.
Thank you for practicing your listening with us today on the Everyday Calm English podcast.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.